Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub, Pub Sports Radio, Monday, February the 6th. Ian Cameron and Skee Profit with you, ready to break down the Monday NBA card. We've got 8 games tonight in the association. It's just Skee and I for now. We've got Dutch joining us momentarily. Wham was not able to make it today for his normal Monday appearance, but we will have Dutch momentarily in just a few moments. Before we get into the Monday card, we do have to, I think, bring up just briefly the big trade with Kyrie Irving, of course, to the Dallas Mavericks that took place. Obviously, the Dallas Mavericks are going to have an incredible duo with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. But the one thing the deal does leave is a paper-thin roster outside of those two players. DFS went to Brooklyn. Spencer Dinwiddie went to Brooklyn. You look at that trade, and it's like you've got to fill out this roster, and there's still a lot of work to be done for Dallas. Now, certainly will be special to see them in the backcourt, and I'm sure they'll take turns playing the point spot. But at the same point in time, they've got a lot of work to do. Still defense lacking on this team. There's no telling the chemistry is going to be great. That's always what you concern yourself with two megalomaniac superstar-level talents brought together like those two, Doncic and Kyrie. So how's that going to work out? Brooklyn on the other side, where do they go from here? This was a team that was all of a sudden a Kevin Durant injury away from looking like, hey, they're regaining their footing as one of the best teams in the East. Now, KD's injured and out for a period of time, and now Kyrie's been traded when he said he wouldn't leave Brooklyn. So they've got some decisions to make as well with what they're going to do and where they're going to go moving forward. And Skee, from your perspective as a Laker fan, and I warned you and everybody this, I know the Lakers were hot and heavy for Kyrie and trying to get something done. And how many times have everyone getting all pumped up, the Lakers going to make a move here? And sure enough, nothing happens. Although, as you stated off the air when we were talking about this, the Brooklyn owner, Joe Tsai, was hell-bent on making sure he wasn't sending Kyrie Irving to Los Angeles, and he made good on that promise. Skee, thoughts on the big trade over the weekend?
My first thing is I question, and I'm not sure how much Kyrie wants to be in Dallas, just because we haven't seen him say anything about it. I don't know. I don't think that was on his list of destinations that he wanted to go to. So we'll see how the rest of the year shakes out for them and if he decides to stay another year. But I don't question if they'll be able to work on offense. They'll both be able to score, take turns scoring, whatever, the case may be. But the rest of the squad and the defense and all that stuff, I don't know. So I just feel like, maybe Dallas was ready for a reset, or maybe they think they'll just, sign somebody else to have a lot of free money next season if Kyrie decides to leave. Maybe that was a part of the thought process too. But I don't think Dallas is good enough to actually win this year. I think they'll be able to have a little bit of success in the playoffs. And as far as the Nets, I know teams are going after KD. They're reaching out. Suns, I heard. Boston, I heard. Maybe. So we'll see if he even stays. If he does, it's a team that can get to the playoffs, but not really make any noise, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. That changes things completely for Brooklyn. I remember just a month and a half ago when they were on that incredible run and things were coming together, and they were, after the Steve Nash firing, Jacques Vaughn comes on board, and all of a sudden Brooklyn's starting to play some of their best basketball. We're like, wow, look at them factor in the East again, and then this happens and just blows that whole thing up completely. So definitely interesting to see how both teams, the Mavs and the Nets, operate moving forward. I was going to get Dutch and his thoughts. It looked like he was going to join us, but he's the one that's late today.
Dutch loves Luka, but I don't think he likes Kyrie.
I know.
So
yeah,
he's not gonna like it.
well, look who's here. I think he's just about to re-enter the scene here. There he is. There's our guy, Dutch. He loves Luka the Don. I know he doesn't share those same heartwarming feelings for Kyrie Irving. So where do you stand, my friend, on this Dallas Mavericks situation?
Yeah, man. My bad. Salute to the ladies, gents, and D-gents for tuning in already, though. My fault. Shit. I'm looking at the big guy. It can't get much worse in Dallas, though, right? As we've seen. But man, it might be. Luka might not be in Dallas come next year. I'm just gonna say that. He might want out. He might get the ultimate package to get Luka out of there, man. He ain't gonna like what he got with Kyrie. First of all, 2 ball dominant players. That's not gonna work out. How's it working out in Atlanta with Murray and Trae Young, as I mentioned. Also, how does it work out with Russ and LBJ, two ball dominant players? It is what it is. It's about fits. They don't fit. To me, Brooklyn fleeced these boys, man. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to all them people that talking shit about who's running the front office over there. They got a lot for a disgruntled, a guy who's bought into the NBA about 65% of the time. Let's be quite honest. This motherfucker does not care about basketball as much as probably Bobano does, just to be honest. Like, he really doesn't. So you want to sign him up? I don't blame the Lakers for not wanting to give 4 years to this dude. Year by year with Kyrie, because who knows what the fuck he's going to do. It's day by day with that motherfucker, month by month. So personally, Brooklyn fleeced them. They got 2 starters in DFS and Dinwiddie. Fit in nice. If you ask me right now, when KD comes back, they're a better basketball team right now than with Kyrie. I think DFS and Dinwiddie fit better in there. They play some defense. And KD, he's the bucket already. So I feel sorry for Luka. I don't know what Jason Kidd and Mark and Cuban was thinking, but bad fucking trade. They're obviously just doing anything to keep Luka happy, because what's going on there is not working. But yeah, man, Kyrie ain't it, bro. He's by far one of the most talented basketball players I've ever seen. I used to always argue Kyrie over Curry, but you can't make that argument now, because one player cares about basketball and the other player picks and chooses when he cares about basketball. So to me personally, anybody that's like co-signing Kyrie, it's pretty much like us three right now breaking bread, and me and Bobano dated a girl. We've already slept with the girl, and our guy Skee wants to fucking marry the bitch, bro. And we're looking, he's trying to talk us into telling us, oh, she's a goodie. And me and Bobano thinking, well, bro, we already had the good, so how good is she really? And that's what you got with Kyrie. It looked good, but is it really that good? Yeah, man.
Yeah, and we didn't think enough of her to keep her. So there you go.
Exactly.
Exactly. And so, yeah, we made the decision. Hey, we're moving on to better things, bigger and better things. Love the analogy there. It's awesome shit. But yeah, this is going to be fascinating. Good. Skee made the point too. Where's the defense going to be played on this Mavericks team? I mean, that's the first thought for me is they're suddenly going to be just jacking up threes and, scoring points in bunches and not really getting back on defense. It's going to be a good over team, I think, in the near future. The Dallas Mavericks, a little prelude to tonight's card, by the way, in that regard. All right. Next up, let's get to the card Monday. 8 games on tap. Let's start with Boston and Detroit. We've got the Celtics 10.5-point road favorites, 229.5, 230. The total in this one. The Detroit Pistons obviously having a disappointing season, 14-40. They have lost 3 of their last 4 games to Dallas, Houston, and Phoenix. The only win coming against the lowly Charlotte Hornets. Boston, they had that big blowout win against Brooklyn last week. And then on Friday night, 10-point favorites against Phoenix. They lose by double digits, 106-94. What a performance by the Suns. A big bounce back from them, because the Suns got truly embarrassed by the Atlanta Hawks on their home court. And Phoenix responded with a terrific performance after that against the Boston Celtics. And Boston was the victim of that. So Boston's looking to bounce back. Boston certainly you think is going to bring a pretty good effort. Do you want to lay 10 and 11 with them on the road? If you look at the 2 meetings this year against Detroit, they won by 9 in Detroit, and then they won by 16 at home. So Boston winning both games, covering both games. Certainly you'd think you're going to get better effort here from this Celtics team against a porous Detroit team. It is worth noting, though, from a schedule perspective here, the Boston Celtics play Philly on Wednesday night. That's a huge game. So, is there a little look ahead spot possibly? But I don't know. I don't have enough confidence in Detroit, and I don't want to lay this many with Boston. So I'm off this game. Skee, what do you think? Boston, Detroit.
I don't really like this game. I know Jaylen Brown is questionable now, right? And just thinking about that and the pace that Boston's been playing lately, which is very slow, and they've been playing pretty good defense. I'll probably lean under. Don't really have a strong opinion on this game.
Jaylen Brown, game time decision, and of course Gallinari Smart still out for the Celtics. Dutch, what do you think here? Boston, Detroit.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Star Child. Bro, we all know somebody like that. That's why it really be funny. Shout out to Cashville. I see you, my man. Nasty Nate, Mr. Trifecta in the building. Mike M, Pimp Slap Plate of the motherfucking day. Yeah, man. To be honest with you, a lot of these trends Our guy says the trifecta over. Our guy might DM me 3 trifecta spots yesterday, or 2 trifecta spots. It went 6-0, I believe, in all 3 of them. So I would listen to what the fuck he's doing right now. He said this is a trifecta spot in this Boston game. So that's probably the play here. The Celtics are 0-7 ATS on 2 days rest, though. So Ski love that rested band. But the Boston don't really against the number. And they are 1-7 ATS last 8 basketball games. You could catch them a little bit in the funk right now. Is the funk going to last, or are they going to take it out on a funky-ass Detroit Piston basketball team? I don't know. Personally, I would only look Boston, but all the trends say Detroit plus 10.5 is the best. So you motherfuckers decide. I'm back winning this bitch.
All right.
There we go. I was waiting for it. The back.
It's Medicaid Monday. We'll give him a break, Bobano.
Yeah, better late than never. Better late than never. There's nothing wrong with that. A little delay. All right, Cleveland and Washington now. We've got the Cavs 2.5 point road favorites, 221 the total in this game. It looks like on the Cleveland side, we've got Karis LeVert game time decision. Bradley Beal, most games you got to wonder about his status. Kuzma's out for Washington. Bradley Beal, foot injury, questionable for this game, but he was at the morning shoot around, so that's usually a good indicator he'll be playing and on the floor tonight for the Wizards. Like I said, LeVert a game time decision. It's back-to-back for the Cavaliers. They were at Indiana, and they blasted the Pacers 122-103 last night. Back-to-back situation for them. Washington, I actually took the Washington Wizards in that game, and thankfully, because I took them early, they covered the number at +3, but they lost by 2. If you bet Washington late in that game, you may not have gotten the money, but they ended up blowing the fourth quarter lead that they had for their second straight loss, losing 125-123. We'll see how they fare. They got the rest advantage. Cleveland is the better of these two teams, though. But as we know with the Cavaliers, we've said this all year about them, they're not great on the road, just 11-16. The Cavaliers away from home. So it's a tricky handicap here in terms of the side in this one. I mean, Washington, they haven't exactly impressed me here the last couple of games, but at the same time, Cleveland on a back-to-back spot here is not exactly in a great bet-on situation by any stretch of the imagination. So in this game here, I'm looking toward just probably leaving it alone from a side perspective. What do you think here in this one, Skee? Cleveland, Washington.
Yeah, I can't bet Cleveland on the road. For one, they don't even have a winning record, and then on a back-to-back, I wouldn't feel good about that bet. But at the same time, you have a Washington team who's going to be missing Kuzma, which is pretty much their star player over there, and Bill game time too, so potential to miss a lot of points. And Cleveland can play good defense. So I guess if I say all of that out loud, Washington is also a top 10 defensive rated team the last 5 games. Neither team playing really up tempo. I think I like the under in this game more than a side, but lean Washington, lean under.
All right, lean Washington, lean under. The under might be the way to go. I agree. It's kind of high considering what we've seen from Cleveland. Capable defensive team as well. Dutch, what do you think? Cavs, Wizards?
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Billy Briz, liking Jordan Ivey over to assist prop. Tasha, nice young lady in the building. Good to see you. Viper as well. And our guy LJ, loving Jared Allen. Should eat down low. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. How am I not betting the Cavaliers here? A lot of the trends on the road, I guess not. But Kuzma. They lose a lot of points. They get better in the fashion department without him, but they do lose a lot of points. He's been playing pretty well, and obviously Bill, could be questionable here. But the Wizards, man, they fuck around and get up by 20. Today's NBA, they look like the best thing going in the first half, and then they complete ass in the second half against the Portland Trailblazers. Then most recently, the other fucking night, I believe it was against the Kyrie-less Brooklyn Nets. They're up 20 and let Cam Thomas drop 40 motherfucking on your ass plus and get out with a W. So I could only think the Wizards will find a way to fuck this game up. I see our guy Billy Briz on that Jared Allen double prop. So maybe JA all day. But I could only look the Cavaliers here. To me, there's levels to this shit. And the Wizards, they just find a way. I don't give a fuck if it's a back-to-back or not. They'll find a way to lose this basketball game.
All right, next up as we go along here, it is in the next game on the slate, LA Clippers and Brooklyn. Clippers 8-point road favorites, 220.5 the total in this one. Now, you had to have known that with the trade that just got completed with Brooklyn and Dallas over the weekend, bettors would be flocking at betting against both the Nets and the Mavericks tonight in this spot with these depleted rosters. Because keep in mind, you've got these players that have just been dealt They got to get there. Finney Smith, is not going to be ready for tonight. Neither is Spencer Dinwiddie, the two pieces acquired from the Mavericks. So, it feels like a Clippers hammer spot. It really does. I mean, I already laid it with Brooklyn. I already laid it with the Clippers, I should say, first half and full game split in this one. And I'm kind of giving away what I also did with the other game later with Dallas and Utah. But, definitely tricky spots. It's, again, we're talking about a thin bench, thin roster that both of these teams are going to have. I mean, you look at it from a Nets perspective tonight after the trade, and you look at who they're going to have. They're going to have Edmund Sumner, Joe Harris, Royce O'Neal, maybe Ben Simmons. He's a game-time decision, and Nick Claxton. Then you look on that bench. It gets pretty thin there for the Brooklyn Nets. Clippers, meanwhile, they're starting to, I would say, play some of their better basketball of the season, really dating back to January 20th. This team's on a nice 7-2 straight-up run. They beat the Knicks in overtime, 134-128 on Saturday night. It was a great game. I am concerned, if you're coming off this, big overtime thrilling game against the New York Knicks, expended a lot of energy. But the good news is they didn't play last night. They have a chance to catch their breath a little bit. And like I said, with this Brooklyn team coming into the game tonight, definitely not exactly a roster that's well equipped to match up well with the Clippers, especially when you look at the fact the Clippers will have everybody available to them tonight, including the big two, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, both will play tonight. So makes sense to look at the Clippers, but the betting markets have certainly moved it that way, 6 up to 8. Clippers first half, by the way, if you still want to bet that, 4 in some spots, 4.5 in some other spots, and 5 in some books. So there's a big discrepancy with the first half number with the Clippers. So make sure you shop around. But yeah, I'm on a first half full game Clipper split here. Skee, what do you think? Clippers, Nets?
Yeah, I like the Clipper side too. For one, they've just been playing good basketball lately. They've won and covered, I think, 7 of their last 9 games. They're actually playing defense. Brooklyn Nets are not. They're third worst defensive rated team and the third worst team defend. That's the last 5 games, and the third worst team defending the 3 on the season. So I think the Clippers can take advantage. They're a top 10 3-point shooting team this season, and I think Paul George will be a person who takes advantage for sure. Versus bottom 10 3-point shooting defenses, I think he's averaging 3.8 makes per game. His prop was 2.5. He has hit it 4 of his last 6 games as well. So I like him. And I think the team as a whole takes advantage. As long as PG and Kawhi have been on the floor for the Clippers in the regular season, they're about 64.7% winners against the spread, 14-8 so far this season. And really, I also like betting on the Clippers just because it's a chance for them to finish their road trip strong. Versus, I had a system that pop up, and it pretty much says you're betting on a road favorite to finish the road trip strong, versus a team who's not in their division and is in either a letdown spot or just satisfied being off of a win. And also, I mean, I like betting against teams that this Nets team had to come back from down 20 to win their last game. So just combination of them expending all that energy. They also play again tomorrow. Everybody, is not available tonight. If the Clippers don't win this game by margin, it's only because they don't care. That's just how I look at it. So Clippers minus the points. Paul George over his 2.5 3-pointers. I think those are the best to make in this game.
Yeah, I think Nick Claxton's the prop to look at for Brooklyn. He's going to have big nights, active, be used a lot, play a lot of minutes, points, rebounds, anything Nick Claxton, I think, for Brooklyn is where you got to go on that side of it. Kawhi Leonard over points, why not? Why not? He's gone over his point total 8 of the last 10 games for the LA Clippers, so he's feeling it right now, and he's finally healthy, it looks like. What do you think, Dutch? Clippers, Nets?
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy DK. Said the Clips spent Saturday night and Sunday night in NYC. So yeah, they've been posted up, chilling. I like the first quarter minus 2.5 here. They're plus 17 the last 2 games against the Knicks and Milwaukee in the first quarter. Lost to Milwaukee outright, and then obviously went to New York, handled business in overtime, though. A little bit of a sweater full game. So I was on a -3. I like the first quarter here, though. 2.5 seems like good money. Early, Skee, y'all touched on a big game there, comeback win, kind of more emotional with Kyrie kind of shitting on the team, and they put a lot of into that game. That was just some bullshit ass basketball game on the schedule for the Wizards and for really us. but that was something bigger for Brooklyn in that locker room. A lot of Mo in there. Then, now they kind of got new pieces coming in, not playing tonight. I like Cam Thomas, though. I think he's a stud. I'm not mad at anything, his name on it. But Clippers, come on, man. There's levels to this shit. Get in there. And if you ain't up by 3 at 1, god damn, son. But yeah, I look at him here to handle business. I like him first half, full game as well. But the 2.5 seems real low to me. So I like that number. We touched on it. The Clippers are playing some of the best basketball they've played all year. So I like what I see here. Fathead like in Cam Thomas over 1.5 threes. I mean, if he gets he definitely will be chucking. He's scoring, so he's off a 40 piece. But if he has the green light, I really like his props. Shout out to Christopher Camatini. Good to see you, man. Some new names in the chat. Big Lucci. I like it, my man. Big Lucci. Chris Clark as well. A lot of love for the Clippers in the chat. I think it is a Clipper spot here. As Skee said, as long as they care, man, it's good money.
All right, next up, Sacramento and Houston. We've got the Kings 6.5, 7-point road favorites, 238 the total in this one. This is not something I love doing because obviously Houston played Saturday, Kings played last night, and it is a back-to-back on the road here. Third road game in 4 nights for Sacramento. But I do like Sacramento laying the points here. And I don't like laying points on the road with them very often. But I think this Houston team right now, pretty dreadful the last couple of games, the way they have played. It's been ugly. It's been bad. They missed KPJ, who's going to miss once again. No defense is being played. So I think Sacramento here, they're not going to look past Houston because of what we've seen the last 2 games, losses to the Pacers and the Pelicans in their last 2 games. And they have destroyed the Houston Rockets here. Both meetings last month in January, 135, 115, 139, 114. They were utter beatdowns by the Sacramento Kings over the Houston Rockets in those games. So I like Sacramento here, laying the 6.5. I like the over, too. The over's gone taking money. I agree with that. Neither of these teams are great at the defensive end of the floor. Houston is just absolutely horrendous the last couple games on defense, especially that OKC debacle, 153 put on the board by the Thunder in that game. So total's been bet up to 238, and I understand why that is completely. What do you think here, Skee? Sacramento, Houston.
Yeah, back with this motherfucker.
All right. Yeah.
Nothing more needs to be added than that. Dutch, what do you think here? Kings and Rockets.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Tom Miggs in the chat. Star Child, I see you, my dude. You gonna fuck around with them Houston Rockets? Hey, man, they've been gritty a little bit, though. They have. The one thing I will say is, and Bobano touched on it, Sacramento smacked these boys around both times. So you might want to 10 double revenge spot. Houston at the house, been kind of playing a little bit good against the number. Against Toronto, they showed up a little bit and obviously beat OKC outright. But, this is a spot. Sacramento's lost 2 games in a row, I believe. De'Aaron Fox is back. There's levels to this, and Sacramento's on their level in Houston. So I could only look Sacramento here. But, somehow, some way, Houston does find to get a little gritty when you give them a little bit of points.
Yeah, I mean, they can be. They can be feisty, and they can slide through the back door. They've done that a couple of times this year already, no doubt. But I just think that teams that are better than Houston and won't look past them, and I don't think Sacramento is tonight after 2 straight losses, and De'Aaron Fox playing, I think they can whip Houston, and we've already seen evidence Sacramento can whip Houston, so I think they will be able to do that tonight. And I think it's a high-scoring game. I like that over just as much. All right, next up, we've got, as we continue along, San Antonio and Chicago. Chicago, 10-point home favorites, 239 being the total here between the Spurs and the Bulls. Of course, Chicago comes into this game, 25 and 27 overall. Perfect record for them because they're just an inconsistent, mediocre team, and they've been that way all season. They are off back-to-back home wins and covers, though, against Charlotte and Portland. Will they be able to get the job done here? I mean, San Antonio, it's hard to back this team. They've failed to cover now in 7 straight. They've lost 8 straight going into this game. The last 4 losses, 6 losses, 7. Actually, all of them, 7 of the 8 losses were by double digits. So, they haven't exactly been competitive here, the Spurs, in recent games. I don't know. I mean, Chicago's the only side I could look at, but Chicago's never a team where I'm like, yeah, let's lay 10 with the Bulls. I mean, they're just not. They're not that kind of team for me. Maybe you look at them early, first half potentially. The over could get there. It is 239. They have been playing better defense, though, Chicago. You look at some of these recent performances here. The Clippers game stayed under. They played a pretty solid defensive game, even though they lost. Charlotte didn't do much offensively against them. The defensive game of the Bulls, a couple of these recent games has been better. It did go over with Portland on Saturday night with 250 points. San Antonio certainly doesn't play much defense. So maybe you do a over or maybe a Bulls team total over. Look in those two directions. That's not a bad consideration for this game. The Bulls team total over, in fact, might be something I bet. I do kind of like that. The team total for Chicago currently at 124.5. What do you think here, Skee? Spurs, Bulls?
Man, I'm getting an alert saying Kyrie trade is not official. What are they even talking about, man? I thought they just said he got traded yesterday. Now they're saying it's not official. But this game,
yes, I call BS on that.
He's got to pass his physical. Is that what it's talking about?
I don't know.
That's what they said they were waiting for.
Maybe he's got to pass his mental.
I'm telling you, he did something, bro. All these people vouching for. Now they're like, "Oh shit, what'd I say?" Want to try to go delete the tweets and shit? Go ahead.
In this game, I really want to fade the Bulls just because I don't trust them. They have rest disadvantage. They play tomorrow, but I just don't trust the Spurs. They've been absolutely garbage. So I got to go to the props, and I'll play DeRozan over his 25.5 points. He averages 26 on the year. He's gone over 25.5 6 of his last 8 games. And, since he's got traded away from the Spurs, he's had 32 or more in his 3 games that he's played versus them. So give me DeRozan over 25.5 points.
All right, we continue along. Next up, it is Dallas.
Let me hit this game real quick because I like.
Go ahead. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Dutch.
These two teams played October 28th. And, last time we was on the show, my boy Skee tried to do a little jab to the Chicago Bulls, and we hit that first half full game on that ass against the Hornets. So I feel very good about hearing that jab again because I am on the Chicago Bulls -6. They lost to these boys already this year, San Antonio, by 5. This is a get right. This is a bounce back revenge spot here against the San Antonio Spurs, the bum ass San Antonio Spurs. And say what you will about the Chicago motherfucking Bulls, but check the numbers, man. At the crib, they've been a bet on team of late. I like them right here, -6 first half. I'm not mad at the 10 full game as well. I do think they smack these boys around, but they do have Memphis on deck. They got to travel to Memphis tomorrow. Skee touched on that. So I do think they'll try to get it over early. Levine and them boys playing better basketball. Look for them. I would like to see Caruso in there. He brings a little bit of an edge as well. But Levine, DeRozan, Vooch, them boys too damn much for San Antonio. -6 first half. It's good money.
All right, next up, we've got Dallas and Utah. Utah 9-point home favorites, 222 the total in this game. Of course, here's Dallas, where they trade away Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie to Brooklyn in the big deal that lands Kyrie Irving here in Dallas. Although, of course, Kyrie is not even close to making his Dallas debut. It's certainly not going to be tonight. They're saying on Wednesday on ESPN when they go to L.A. to play the Clippers, that's when we're going to see. We think we're going to see Kyrie in a Mavs uniform. Now we're getting this trade. Trade confirmation hasn't gone through or been processed yet, but I think that's just BS. I think it's a fait accompli. But nevertheless, there will be no Kyrie Irving tonight, and obviously, you've lost 2 of your key starters in DFS and Dinwiddie gone the other way. So it's a thin Dallas team. Luka's not playing tonight. It's almost like Dallas is taking a powder tonight. It's like, fuck this game. That's what it looks like to me, kind of with the way they're going about it. And Luka, of course, with the heel injuries out for this game against Utah, hoping to have probably him ready to go for the Wednesday night television matchup against the Clippers. But no Luka. Kleber's still out. Bertans is still out. Looks like a Markieff Morris game time decision for the Mavericks as well. So they're going to go with a McKinley Wright starting point guard assignment tonight with Tim Hardaway, Josh Green, Christian Wood, and Dwight Powell, the starting 5 for the Mavs here tonight in this one. Utah, they're coming off actually their home record, Utah, 18-10. I should point that out on the year. They're coming off a loss against Atlanta on Friday night, 115, 108. They'll be looking to bounce back here in this game, and bounce back, I think they will. I did another first half full game split here with the Jazz. I also like the over here a little bit at 222 and a half. I think you'll see enough points to get this game over the total. And I also like Utah here, and I'll go with a split with the first half -5 and the full game at -9 in this one. What do you think here, Skee, with the Mavs and the Jazz?
I wouldn't want my money on the Mavs today, but maybe the number has gone too far. I know Laurie Markkinen has been pretty good lately. He said his threes 8 games in a row. Maybe Markkinen threes or I don't know, Jazz, but I'm not playing this game.
All right, what do you think here, Dutch?
Shit, pass this motherfucker right to me then, Ski. I'm gonna hit it straight over the motherfucking head. I like Utah a lot here. I like them first half -5.5, first quarter -3. They beat these boys by 8 not too long ago without Luka, right? Without Luka. DFS did play in that game, and so did Dinwiddie. He dropped 35 on these motherfuckers, and they still lost by 8. I think it's a bloodbath tonight. Utah, man, they're gonna, Dallas is kind of, they show out a little bit. They were the bully last year. Luka the Don, I think they're gonna try to step on them while they're down. I'll just be real. So Utah, I like them early, often. Full game is I got Nets bets here, liking the Jazz -9. I like it too. I just think the 3 and 5.5. Man, that's good money.
All right, next up we've got Oklahoma City and Golden State. Golden State 4-point home favorites, 234 the total. No Steph Curry for the Warriors tonight. He's been ruled out here for this game. And keep in mind, Steph Curry with the superior tibiofibular ligaments that have been partial tears in those areas for him. So they're doing a prognosis here. We're trying to find out how long the absence is going to be, but it looks like his recovery is going to take and keep him out weeks, is what they're estimating right now. But the bottom line is you're not going to see Steph tonight, and you're not going to see Steph Curry for the short term at the very least for the Golden State Warriors. So obviously that is a blow to Golden State, who've actually failed to cover in 3 straight. And if you actually look at Golden State, remember early in the season, just automatic money in the bank when they're at home. Not so much lately. They failed to cover 3 of the last 4 home games. The only win in cover was against the Raptors. Other than that, they lost outright as favorites to Brooklyn. They didn't cover in a victory against Memphis as home favorites. And then Dallas, they were 10.5-point home favorites on Saturday night. They only won that game by 6 against the Dallas Mavericks here in that game. I like OKC here. I do. I love this team. They've been just nothing but gold to me for the better part of this season. They're coming off an absolute beatdown over Houston, 153-121 in that game. And if you actually look at when these teams met just over a week ago at OKC, that was a fully healthy, pretty much Golden State team. Steph Curry played. He had 38. Klay Thompson had 28. Jordan Poole had 15. Draymond played. It was a fully healthy Golden State team. And Oklahoma City at home only lost by 8. It was a competitive game. They hung in there pretty well. Now they get Golden State in a rematch situation. Warriors haven't been that automatic point spread machine at home lately. And the Thunder are in the role that I love them in as underdogs, catching points. So I like OKC here, getting the 4. Skee, what do you think? Thunder, Warriors.
I'll stay away from the sides and all that. I'll just do the props. I'll go Giddey over 7.5 rebounds. He averages 8.5 for his bottom 10 rebounding teams, and he's hit it 8 of the last 10 games. And I'm also going to go Jordan Poole over 23.5 points because he averages 28 without Steph.
All right, good stuff there. Dutch, what do you think here? OKC, Golden State.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Jefferson C. liking Dallas team total under, and I like that look as well. Pick some Dave. Shout out to our guy. He said Kyrie. Man, I would have liked Kyrie in LA. You know why? Because LBJ need Kyrie, and he need LBJ. He would have held him accountable, and he's like that missing piece. So, there's spots for Kyrie, and I think the Lakers would have been ideal. And I know Skee would have liked to have him, but, don't work out that way. But, yeah, this game, a lot of love for OKC, man. I think Jordan Poole gets off in this basketball game. I think it's back to the Poole show. I don't know. Obviously there's love for OKC at 4, down to 3.5. I don't know. I'm not mad. I see a lot of love, and I see a lot of things pointing OKC's way, especially with the trends on the road. But if the Warriors come to play tonight, players like to step up a little bit when their studs out. He's going to be missing a couple weeks, as you mentioned. We might see a good game from all around supporting cast. with the Warriors tonight. Shout out to our guy Razor Sharp Picks. Good to see him on a Medicaid Monday as well. And we got about 240 in here, so I know we all a little slow today. But come on now, let's run up them likes. We're about to run up the counts. We're gonna have a week here. Believe that right here on NBA Pub Hub. Yeah, man.
There we go. Exactly. Hit that like button. 244 live viewers. Come on. It's the week leading into the Super Bowl. Let's go. Get after it. Hit that like button. We appreciate it very much. And of course, lots of NBA throughout the week to get us ready and get us looking forward, of course, to the Super Bowl this weekend. So hit that like button. We appreciate it very much. All right, final game here on this Monday slate: Milwaukee, Portland. We've got the Bucks 4.5 point road favorites, 242. The total in this game. The Bucks coming in off a really good run here where they've put 7 straight victories on the board, including a nice 4-game sweep of their homestand against the Pelicans, Hornets, Clippers, and Heat in their last 4 games. Now they take to the road here to battle Portland. Portland coming home off a 3-game road trip, which ended in Chicago with a 129-121 loss on Saturday night. We'll see if Portland can bounce back. Clearly, obviously, won't be easy when you're playing Milwaukee right now, who are playing some really good basketball. Earlier this season, these teams met in Milwaukee. It was a competitive game, 119-111 for Milwaukee. Portland got the cover there as 9.5-point road underdogs. We've talked all season. Milwaukee hasn't been as good away from home, 13-12 on the road straight up compared to 23-5 at home. But they have played a little bit better at home the last couple games. Now, the competition was Detroit and Indiana, but they have at least stepped up a little bit better away from home in recent games. We'll see if that continues tonight in this one. As far as the Bucks go, Bobby Portis remains out. Giannis Antetokounmpo looks like he will play. He's got that sore right knee, but it's not something that's kept him out. He's been able to play all these games through it. And will play tonight for the Bucks. On the Portland side of the equation, Nurkic out long-term, Winslow still out. Looks like Gary Payton Jr. game-time decision, Drew Eubanks game-time decision as well for the Portland Trailblazers. So keep your eye on that as far as those injuries are concerned. This is a tricky game, but Portland coming off the road trip, I think that might swing the balance slightly to me toward Milwaukee and leaning toward the Bucks here. In this game, laying the short number on the road. I lean that way because it's not exactly a bet-on spot for Portland here coming off the road trip in this game. And more than anything else, with no use of Nurkic and the fact that you've got, if Eubanks plays, him projected to be your starting center in this game, who the hell is going to take care of Giannis? I don't know if there's anybody capable for the Portland Trailblazers. So the Giannis props could be in store for him tonight. And a good bet for you if you decide to go in that direction, because he should have his way in and around the rim. What do you think here in this one, Skee, Bucks and Blazers?
I want to bet the Bucks just because they've been playing really good basketball. They're on a really, good win streak right now. I just, with the number, maybe, I thought the number should go more towards the Bucks, not go towards the Blazers. So maybe Giannis is not going to play. I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable betting this game. If I'm betting anything, though, it's the Bucks side until they lose the game. I just don't like the defense Portland's been playing. Haven't been good rebounding the ball. Nurkic out. They're probably still not going to be good rebounding the ball. I probably might look at Josh Hart rebounding prop. But, again, not a game I'm going to put my money on here.
All right, so it's a pass for Skee in this one. That's true. Sometimes when you see these moves, toward one team, it makes you kind of think maybe there's someone sitting out that we haven't heard yet or hasn't been officially announced yet. And maybe you worry about that for Milwaukee, that maybe Giannis will sit tonight. But then, again, one of many reasons why it can be so frustrating to bet NBA when you're never, ever 100% sure what the set starting lineup is going to be leading up to tip-off. What do you think here in this one, Dutch?
Yeah, man. Shout out, shout out to our guy LJ liking that first quarter here, Bucks, with some stats to back it up as well. Mike in with some good shit as well in the chat. Shout out to everybody. But Nut Flush, I see you, my dude. Yeah, man. Reach out. We'll get Ski on the tables. Try to double the fuck up. This game though, I like the Bucks, man. I think Ski said in his breakdown rebounds 3 times in one sentence. So, and that's really what it comes down to, man. It's fucking rebounding, bro. It's big bully. It's big bully type shit, and that's what it's gonna be like tonight. They're gonna bully the fuck out of Blazers, and y'all know I'm fond of the Trailblazers, man. But hey, they too small, man. They too fucking small tonight against a team that is just number one in the NBA in rebounding. Not to mention, number one. They're bigger and they like to rebound. So I just think they got Drew to contain Dame. Dame's gonna get his. But these boys are healthy now. Obviously, no Bobby Portis, but they're deep as fuck. They're going in. They're playing some of the best. They're playing the best basketball in the NBA. Won 7 straight, 9 out of the last 10. But to me, it's just too much size. You touched on Giannis. Brook Lopez gonna do his thing. They got Middleton, and Middleton got length. Drew will rebound the basketball. Connaughton got hops. Just all around. I think they're just too big. They should be up by double to 15, 20 rebounds in this game. A lot of free throw attempts, and the Blazers bench is also lacking as well, obviously with the injuries and the size. But they really don't have much of a bench outside of. I'm fond of that dude Sharp from Kentucky, but really outside of that, come the fuck on. So you're gonna see a bench through 4 quarters. I'm not mad at anything with the Bucks on it, but I like full game -4 because I think throughout the 4 quarters they're gonna just simply wear down the Portland Trail Blazers. So it's fear the motherfucking deer in P-Town -4. It's good money.
All right, there it is. Milwaukee with the short road favorite number here, -4, -4.5 for Dutch. I agree. It feels short. It feels cheap. It feels light. Okay, on Milwaukee, it really, especially with the matchup advantages, they're just going to tower over the Blazers in the paint area tonight. Like you talk about second, third chance points and just crashing the glass. Milwaukee does that. They're going to just get so many of their layups and putbacks off that. They don't even have to shoot well tonight. And they'll be able to get so many points just based on winning the rebounding battle, you would think. But again, I am concerned that this number has hovered where it is, and we're still getting Giannis looks like he's going to play, but if you get the rug pulled out from under you right before tip off, it wouldn't shock me because it happens in this league a lot. All right, great stuff with Dutch and with Skee. Shout out, by the way, to our guy Wham. He couldn't make it today for his regular. He regularly joins us on Mondays. Yeah, Wham Bam. Scheduling conflict. He was hoping Billy or Durrell or someone would have been able to switch, but that's okay. We'll get Wham back. We might get Wham back later in the week, or if definitely
we're
if not
on a
Thursday.
Hopefully, we got a bigger card on Thursday, or one of the bigger cards. If we got a bigger card on Thursday or something, he could vibe out.
Yeah, exactly. So, Wham Bam, we're thinking of you. We'll see you again next Monday for sure, right here on the NBA Pub Up. Hit the like button, 265 live viewers. We'll wrap this shit up coming up in a couple minutes with best bets in a couple of minutes right after we hear from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke, Southtown 101 and manscaped.com. Promo code PubSports. Get 20% off and free shipping with promo code PubSports, manscaped.com. All right, best bets to wrap it up for this Monday edition of the NBA Pub Up. Skee, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet?
I'll go with Giddey over 7.5 rebounds. Hit 8 of the last 10 games. Think he's going to hit again tonight.
There we go. Giddy up with Josh Giddey. Over 7.5 rebounds for Skee with his best bet for this Monday slate. Dutch, freshest look.
Yeah, man. Freshest look. We're going to Brooklyn, and it's juicy. In and out, man. In the fuck out. Going Clippers. First motherfucking quarter, -2.5. It's good money.
All right, clip joint -2.5 first quarter against the Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn.
Precious look for Dutch for this Monday. My best bet for this Monday slate. We're going to go with one of my favorite teams. I mean, I think for the last 2 months, I think 75 or 80% of my best bets have either been the Magic or the Thunder. It's been one of those two teams. Well, it's going to be one of those two again tonight. Oklahoma City, the Thunder, +4 against Golden State. Best bet for me for this Monday card. All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of the NBA Pub Hub. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it very much. We'll be back again tomorrow. It'll be Dutch alongside Durrell and Billy Briz on the Tuesday show. So make sure you tune in for that tomorrow. I've got college basketball net profit coming up with Connor Mack at the top of the hour. So make sure you join us for that. A short college basketball slate, but still a couple good spots and money to be made. So join us for that. Thanks to everyone for joining us once again. Hit the like button on the way out. For Skee Profit, for Dutch, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will talk to you again tomorrow for another edition of the NBA Pub Hub, hosted by Dutch right here on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy, OG Wham, finding a way to get to the motherfucking show. I see you, my dude. Salute to all the real ones holding us down in the chat. Big Lucci, Chris Clark, Abel, Ayo D, Nunya. Y'all be sure to like, subscribe, share the motherfucking video. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed. Let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah.